So I expect this to be about 15, 20 minutes? I'm really joking.
About 10 seconds.
It won't be.
Oh, Ricardo.
Yeah.
Hi, my name's Jamie Connor Smith and I'm talking about Unit 47, LO4 Audiobooks and Guides. The three areas I'm going to be talking about in this presentation is distribution, duplication and economic constraints. Here's the history of audiobooks. First we started with vinyl in 1887, which was invented. Then audiobooks moved to cassette, becoming more portable, and this was further progressed in 1982 with CDs, compact disc format. And then in 1993 we had the MP3 file downloads brought to us through like internet, and then in 1920s streaming was invented, but it was only became popularised in 1993 because it progressed over the last 70 years. The format I'm going to be talking about is MP3 downloads, which has been available since 1993. MP3 downloads have made audiobooks become more portable and reliable than ever before through devices such as iPods, tablets and mobile phones. Development in technology meant MP3s could be played without interruption with the likes of a CD player or cassette tape, which previously would be interrupted if the person was moving around. This makes it more suitable for today's market, as it is more for multitasking audio for consumers, which is developed. MP3 is still the current common format in audiobook market, with the likes of iTunes and Audible still heavily selling MP3 format. Publishing of an audiobook. One example of an audiobook published is the Harry Potter series, voiced by Stephen Fry, which indicated on the cover of the Harry Potter, on the cover on the right. The cost of the publishers have to consider the size of the CG packaging, whether it be a case or a slip, or the design of the actual packaging to appeal to an audience, and information necessary to provide the audience with the information to gain sales. This will also potentially add the price of hard copies in comparison to downloads, as you've got to add on the design of the packaging, which is took the time and effort. They will also need to consider the quantity of the products and the packaging they will need to provide to the market. Making profit through subscription. This is where they generate profits from weekly, monthly or yearly payments from consumers. Audible is one example. It has over 150,000 audiobooks. Memberships get a free 30-day trial at £7.99 a month, then receive one audiobook per month. The exclusive discounts are up to 70% off. This subscription service generates profit from monthly subscriptions and one-off sales, in which sale website takes a cut from the value back to the producers of an audiobook. Making profit through one-off sales. Audiobooks can be bought through the likes of WH Smith's and HMV stores. The prices of the audiobooks tend to vary, but an average price at HMV is £7.99. WH Smith's have a wider range of collection for the price variation, with the lowest being 80p for one single audiobook and up to £180 for a Sherlock Holmes collection book. The BBC could do one-off sales as well, but it's only available for a limited time of the audiobooks, with the average being around £30 due to its exclusivity and aiding the BBC to generate a small profit, whilst also aiding the visually impaired. Free downloads. One example is LibriVox. This website provides free MP3 audio for books. However, same as the majority of all free download websites, larger amateur quality provided. This is through the likes of the voiceover narrator changes through different chapters and potentially troubling for audiences, and also has a lower sound quality due to the lack of a professional studio and production budget. YouTube can also provide free streams of audio books, however they may be illegal due to its copyright. That brings us to illegal downloads, also known as file sharing, has impacted audiobooks as well as any other media in the industry. This is an alternative for consumers who don't have the money or funds to buy audiobooks, but through this activity can get what wasn't available to them legally. A study in 2006 by Bridget Anderson saw respondents of 75% that said P2P downloads, if it wasn't available, they would have paid for the product. Only 25% of people said they would have bought it if it wasn't available to download. In June 2010, Billboard reported a 20% decline in sales due to the rise in file sharing. Sponsorship of an audiobook can benefit producers as it can generate an extra income through the likes of sponsoring events or activities, but in the research you'll need to evaluate the risk and rewards on how many sales it can generate in return. Advertisements of like websites linking each other to the websites like Audiobook, which can advertise another website, which can give them a cut if they achieve a member or a sale. Audible has also advertised their website through television, spreading it through visuals, showing demand taking place in different environments and narrative. This shows how the market of audiobooks is growing in different medias and how it can be filled with imagination. Publishers need to consider what way they advertise an audiobook and whether it should be advertised through the likes of TV, radio, etc. And it's the best way to distribute their product. They would need to consider also the popularity of the actual product of the audiobook to evaluate the risk of the production and the level of advertisement needed. The production cost of production comes from the employees such as narrator, voice actors, studio engineer and the director. Audiobooks with technological advancements are done through now home studios at dramatically lower costs compared to professional studios, however may sacrifice the quality. Narrators are usually paid for finished recording hours of the final product. So that means if they record for 5 hours if they record for 5 hours but it took them 10 hours to record that script, they'll only get paid for the 5 hours. According to the article also, audiobooks used to cost around £16,605 to make, were in the late 1990s, but fell to an average of £1,600 in 2004, showing how technology has progressed. A celebrity narrator can cost more, however, such as Stephen Fry of the Harry Potter series, but can be rewarding if they have a large fan base and potentially increase the sales of an audiobook. It can also potentially increase an audiobook's long-term potential, as they don't need to replace it due to high-quality narration from that celebrity and their fan base. Hiring a professional studio can cost an estimated $20,000 to $25,000 for a full recording of an audiobook and editing. The cost of a home studio will cost an average of £20,000 for high standard, according to Rick Camper at RC1 Productions and Mix Live and Mike Johnson of Clear Track Record Studios. The sound quality of an audiobook is important for paying for professional studio recordings, as it's the main reason for actually paying for the production. This includes high quality equipment and software for editing, so they need to be that of a high standard to be competing in the market of as they're using the professional equipment. Professional studio may also raise the performances of voice actors as the environment will have an effect on them, as a home studio may be uncomfortable towards it. Economic factors. Publishers need to consider the copyright in productions because it may potentially result in a court case and result in a loss of profit or cause the production to actually lose the total investment. Size of an audience and target market affects the distribution. Bias, the number is influenced by predicted sales and therefore just like the number of duplications needed for CDs. It's also important to research and profile an audience through primary and secondary research, as it will allow better decisions and reduce the economic factors, so they can decide what channel, like what they need for the product, whether it be celebrity voiceover or professional studios to actually gain themselves through that target market. Exclusive and non-exclusive deals. Exclusive contracts can be seen as a steady income and a high guarantee of income, and not just a one-off payment, because they can offer them, the exclusive company, they can offer them like the scripts and narratives and over again, with them being the first option. A non-exclusive deal, however, they have the option to choose which company and can look at the contracts and see which is best for them. They can also demand more money for the products if it's in high demand. One example is with J.K. Rowling. She signed an exclusive deal with Warner Brothers for the Harry Potter series, meaning if she creates a story within that world, she has to offer it to Warner Brothers first with the option to produce it. In conclusion, the audiobooks have become easier and cheaper to produce due to technological advancements. This technology has led to distribution being more accessible to audiences and cheaper for last century. The standard of research for the audiobook will determine the level of effectiveness of the external factors, with the high quality reducing the risk.